let's draft again. I just want to draft. Let's see how it goes. Well, Stand Together is super sweet. This card can be an absolute insane blowout. It's expensive though. It costs 3, and it's a commitment to Cambrai. But the card just can totally blow out in so many situations. Displacer's really nice though. I like this card a lot. And it is just a time commitment instead. False Prince is an even heavier commitment than Stand Together, where you kind of need to be Elysian or Cambrai Splash Primal. But Stand Together is just super splashable, super powerful effect. So we'll just go with it. It's just a really hard effect to play around as well. I like Throne Warden here. It's just a good unit. 4/4 Aegis for 5 is just a pain in the ass to deal with. Gains you some life. And armor is much better than gaining life. The gain armor aspect is awesome. Gilded Glaive's not bad. I like Amethyst Acolyte some. Teleports, utility player. Same with Frostkin. This pack's pretty deep. This is going to be a pack where somebody gets a 4th to last pick really good card, essentially. Because there's going to be Detain, Teleport, Herald, and a good card, I guess, scheme. I guess the last 4 cards could be these 4. But even then, a late Teleport's not bad. Cambrai's pretty good in draft. Cambrai's just kind of boring to play in draft. You have to understand, I've been playing this format now since... It's now been 10 months. All of the combinations are good. All of them are good. All of them are playable. I just think the playstyle of Cambrai can be a little boring. That being said, I'm going to get an Awakened Student here. Cambrai can be very good. I probably have a better win rate than Cambrai than I do most other factions at this point. Yeah, Oni Ronin, Nesting Avasar are really good cards, but Towering Terrazon and Awakened Student are here. I'm just going to commit to Cambrai and take the Awakened Student. There's some merit to maybe staying slightly more open or flexible by taking Towers on or something. What are my faction rankings right now? I really just think they're all really good. Whatever is open is what you should draft. I think they're all very close. I guess Primal's maybe the deepest, but I don't necessarily think, Elysian's better than anything. Oh, in terms of fun and power, Rakano and Stone Scar are just my most favorite because I like the ace space. Yeah. I just like attacking, so... Stone Scar mid-range feels, really good right now, especially if you... I really like my last deck, where you have the Plague and everything else going on. That's normally going to get you 7 wins or close to it pretty consistently. We had one sketchy card in Venom Fang Dagger, but other than that deck was textbook really good Stone Scar deck. Let's see here. So Silverwing Familiar can be insane. Silverwing Avengers Deece. And then there's a Minotaur Grunt. I think my delay's a little messed up because my internet's having problems. I should probably restart the stream, because it feels like chat's lagging a little bit. So Silverwing Familiar has the crazy upside. It's not always at its best in Cambrai because you don't always end up with a lot of good weapons. But Minotaur Grunt is only really good in Cambrai if you're aggro Cambrai, where in normal Cambrai it sucks. I'm just gonna go with the upside pick. Silverwing Avenger may be more consistent than Silverwing Familiar, but this card's just scary as hell. We also might end up being Cambrai, I guess. I suppose that's a possibility here. I can take daggers and stay, committed. This is a pretty good dagger start. What else is there? You can, taking Fanatic or Combust, I don't like that at all here. It's Watchwing or Dagger here. I'm going to go with daggers. We'll just stick it. And then get an Inspire. Yeah, this is a great Inspire start. And then I can take the Fixing from Stranger or a... Stay open for Acolyte. It's possible we pivot into Rakano, but even if I do that, I don't mind having Cambrai Stranger just splash Stand Together in Rakano. Yeah, there's the Fixing. I like getting teleports, but I'm just going to take the Fixing here. I think Fixing's better than a teleport. I'll take Fixing over most replacement level cards, and Teleport maybe is slightly above replacement level, but not much. Yeah, you can just kind of pick up teleports wherever. But I'm going to take Inspire here. Now we have 2 Inspire to go with daggers. That's sweet. Would I ever play Privilege of Rank and Draft? There could be a deck where I'd want to do it. I don't know what it would have to look like. This pack's a little disappointing for us. Options here, there's really good fire cards, so I could look into moving into Rakano Splash Stand Together, or I could just take the Towering Terrazon and stay committed to Cambrai. Based on what we saw last pack, I think either way could work out. Like, it's kind of a hard call. It's kind of a tough call. But I'm just going to go with Terrazon because I'd like to just stay base Cambrai because I have Awakened Student. So I'm just going to go with the Terrazon. And now we get a Pillar of Amar. I love Desert Marshal, and this is actually a very good grunt start. But this card's just insane. This card's just nuts. Like, yeah, if you get in a board stall, you just kind of win the game with Pillar. I mean, we actually have like a decent start to aggro Cambrai. Like, I could take Desert Marshal or Grunt here instead and just stay like low to the ground and have Stand Together and combat tricks. Although I don't have any Finest Hours yet, but I'm still just gonna take Pillar because that card's stupid good. And yeah, Amber Monument, pretty easy pick there. I never draft Diplomatic Seal because of lack of consistency. I just never really have an opportunity to draft it in packs, it seems. Emerald Monument's not a bad choice here, but I love Bright Maze Paladin here. We already have double Inspire, a Dagger, and a Stand Together. It's just very likely that this is going to have Lifesteal. I do like Monuments. I think they're all pretty powerful. I already grabbed one. But I think Bright Maze Paladin's just better than what this Monument's giving me. Ooh, Peacekeeper versus Dispel. I really love having access to Dispel in Cambrai, and we don't have a Silence yet. A Peacekeeper is nice, though. I also like having access to one of these, but I think the first Dispel is more important than the first Peacekeeper. So I'm going to go with that. When in doubt, take the cheaper card, right? Well, that's a pretty late Lethrai Ranger. Also a decently late Hatchling. So I can either take Alk Blast here or leave myself open to splashing for Hatchling. I already have a Cambrai Banner and a Cambrai Stranger. So, like, we're pretty good on Cambrai fixing. We might find something to make this Hatchling playable. And if we do, it's really good with Inspire and Stand Together and stuff like that. And gives us, like, a nice flying angle. But I also don't mind having access to Alk Blast. It's nice that I would be able to hold up both Stand Together and Alk Blast. So, like, it's less awkward holding up one or the other. This kind of effect is hard to find in Cambrai, so your opponent generally doesn't play around it. It is a little expensive. So it's like greedy upside pick or consistent useful pick is sort of what's going on here. You know, because there will be a cost of playing Teriach Hatchling in a deck that's also trying to play Awakened Student. It kind of depends on how aggressive or mid-rangey we end up in this Cambrai deck. I'm going to go with the Hatchling upside. Greed can be good. Stalwart Shield here is pretty straightforward. Really, really good on Bright Maze Paladin, Awakened Student, Throne Warden. It's just nice to have one of these around. Ooh, Bold Adventurer. Get another nice 2-drop. Yeah, I think that's more important than the Peacekeeper. We'll find something else to disrupt our opponent at the top of our curve. Wow, a Ceremonial Mask. This late? 8 cards in? This is a 9th pick mask? I mean, I'm taking it here. District Infantry, sweet. Like, that wouldn't be bad in this deck, but I'm going to sound like a broken record, but we've got 2 Inspires. When this becomes a 5/5, it's nuts. Gives us nice removal. Works really well with things like Bright Maze Paladin and Stalwart Shield. So, also, we have a Throne Warden, so if this is a 4/8, we're pretty happy about that. There's a Privilege of Rank here. There's also an Instinct. Not the biggest fan of Instinct, but this looks like a pretty good Instinct deck. Like, our units are going to be reasonably large. Doesn't look like a Privilege of Rank deck. I already have, like, a lot of things I'd rather be doing on 3. Not the biggest fan of Instinct, but sometimes you need it for interaction. That is a Magus of the Mist. It's a good card, but it's triple primal, so not going to be taking it here. There's a Fledgling and Tower Top Patrol, which are both very likely to make the cut in our deck. It's just a question of which card I would prefer here. I think I would rather have the Tower Top Patrol than Fledgling. Can come down a turn sooner and it holds down the skies better. It doesn't necessarily attack in the skies better. But I think I'm going to be more focused on beating down on the ground anyways, between Awakened Student and Towering Terrazon and stuff, and Pillar of Amar. I think the stall plan with Patrol is slightly better here. Feeding time's just too far away to splash. We already picked up a Sync Strike. I'm probably not even going to play the first one, much less the second one. So yeah, we'll take the Patrol. Ooh, 4/3 Elder and Elder's Feather. Plucked straight from the Elder. It's also a Seek Power, but I'm not taking it over premium playables like this. And while Elder's Feather would be a great grab here, give us another flying finisher, turns out 4/3 Elder is just a flying finisher on its own. No assembly required other than play 6 power. So I'm going to be very happy to snatch up that 4/3 Elder, who is... Look at how large this bird is. Like, this is an eagle. This is an eagle. And this thing is a giant fucking owl. That's just what's happening. Bird. It says bird, but it's more than a bird. This deck is turning out well. This is a draft that's going well. Desert Marshal is the best card in the pack, and it's in our factions. So we will take that. Can double up on daggers, or I can grab a Mithril Mace or a Teleport if I want more interaction. Let's see here. Right now, daggers is nice with Inspire, but that's it. No other War Cries. So I'm pretty happy with just one dagger in this deck. Mace gives me a little more synergy with Throne Warden and some ways to interact with flyers. Teleport's a bit better against like Voltron decks like Stonescar and Rakano, where they get like a large quick draw unit. We might not have a silence for it, and Teleport can be... It's just a very flexible card. So do I want the flexibility of Teleport or Mithril Mace, which may be slightly more consistent in what it's doing and what it can do in this deck? Like, if we get into a board stall, this can just pick off flyers and stuff. It's really nice if you go, like, Tower Top Patrol into Mithril Mace. It's probably surviving. I think I'm going to go Mace here. Just make sure I have a second weapon to go along with this Warden Mask package. Lumen Shepherd. Not great with, like, War Cries and stuff, but getting an early unit and then still having a relevant later drop is really sweet. There's an Argenport Soldier if I wanted another 2, but I've already got 3 plus Marshal, and this gives me an early body anyways. I think I like it more than Teleport. Has funny synergy with Stand Together, too. Yeah. Wow, that's a late Wivark. So, this is a slightly interesting Sauropod Wrangler deck, and that I have Pillar of Amar. Not a lot of other targets for it. I'm not really interested in a Recruit or a second Shield. I could just grab the Fledgling. My Curve could certainly support another 5. And getting another nice flying finisher is not a bad deal here. Like, I definitely want another 2-drop at some point, but I also have 18 more picks to go. And this is, like, incredibly replaceable. So are the rest of these cards. Like, they're mostly all replaceable, but I might end up wanting this Fledgling. I may end up wishing I had the Shield or the Sauropod Wrangler, though. Like, if I end up with a second Pillar of Amar, I'm going to really wish I had this Wrangler. Or something like that. But I can't tell the future. Our 4 spot's also a little barren, so maybe I want one of these good, like, ground blockers, but those are generally easy to pick up. Yeah, and if I knew I was going to get these, I'd probably want the Wrangler and not the 5-drop, because now the 5's getting a little crowded, but I'm still just going to grab Terrazon here. There is an Aspirant, but I don't care. Maybe we splash Valkyrie. I doubt it. Wow, that's a late Outlaw. It's not often I play 2 Dispels, but it's still way more likely than splashing Outlaw. Alright, a second Patrol, a second Shield. A premium Ancient Terrazon. Well, it's good. But Flight Lieutenant's a really nice finisher in that it gives all of your units flying. So we're not going to take it. And we're going to take Ancient Terrazon. Mistral Drake's really good too. We'd have to splash it when I could just take Bright Mace Paladin. What's it like to open 2 legends in a draft? It's a lot worse than opening 4 legends in a draft, let me tell you. I think I want the Bright Mace over Splashing Mistveiled Drake. Seems like we have decent 7 drops. This card's insane, though. This card is, like, nuts. But I don't even have any fixing yet. And I could really use some other beef in the middle of my curve here. So we'll go with Bright Mace Paladin. Missing Ivysaur Polymorph. I mean, maybe I play a Horned Vorlunk. Seems unlikely. If I find the fixing, I'll play this Polymorph, I guess. It's more likely than me playing a Horned Vorlunk. Yeah, there's another. Wow, the Legion's flowing in this direction. So we can finally grab that Alk Blast. There's a Determined Stranger to go with our one other Stranger, and it be a bad 3-drop. But this deck could kind of use another bad 3-drop. So maybe it's just Determined Stranger. I don't want Longsword. Do I want Alk Blast? I don't have a Teleport, so I have 1 Instinct, double Dispel, Stand Together. Maybe I end up wanting Alk Blast. Maybe I want this Determined Stranger. Let's see here. Longsword, and I already been playing Double Shield. If I play Double Shield and a Dagger. I just don't see why I would want Sword. I could take another Hatchling, and if I do find the fixing, I could play it. I think it's between Stranger and Blast, though. I don't know how likely it is either make the deck, but if I end up with 1 more Combrade Stranger, I'd be pretty happy to play Determined Stranger anyways. Ooh, Bold Adventure, nice get. That's a nice get. That shores up my issue with that. Falcon Aspirant, Xenon Guardian, sure. Another Tower Top Patrol. We're not going to play 3 of them, but we have them. Peacekeeper versus Second Dagger. So I have no Warcry unless I play Watchwing. They're nice with Paladin, but I already have 1 Dagger, 2 Inspire, some number of shields, Stand Together. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to play 2 Daggers. I'm more likely to play a Civic Peacekeeper. But we're close enough to the end of this draft that I should probably actually figure that out. I don't want to play 2 Daggers in this deck. I just don't see that happening. 1 is enough. There's a Teleport. Did I just get double Determined Stranger? Alright, well that paid off. And Water of Life? Holy crap. We have a lot of playables. We have a lot of playables. So 03 is incoming. Just a heads up. I think I want 2 patrols. We have like a billion cuts to make. What does Familiar do in this deck? It can randomly wear daggers and stalwart shields. I don't want Valkyrie Aspirant. That can go. Do I have enough interaction to not need Predator's Instinct? I don't think we want Peacekeeper. We'll just grind our opponent's bones and dust. I'm just going to cut the chaff and then we'll just build it back up. That's what we'll do here. I'll just cut every maybe and then just bring back in what I think the deck wants. Like we'll shave it down to what I think is what looks like the core, and then build back up to whatever supports the core best. So like 1 Stalwart Shield, not 2. I think I want double Dispel and Desert Marshal in this deck, though. I just love Dispel. It's much better than the other spells. Boy, this is... I'm trying to cut down to, like, the core, and I'm still at... I'm like, I don't see any good cuts. So that's 4 5s, 2 6s plus Shepherd, plus 2 7s. It's a high curve. 18 is going to be risky, but we have 4 cantrips, so I think we can get away with 18. Although we also have an Amber Monument. So maybe 19's better, just because we also have a Monument. But God, it's so hard to find cuts. Because we have an Amber Monument that we still need to make room for. 18 power, one of which is a Monument, plus... I'm going to cheat and go 18 power, but... I don't know. Man, our fixing is sick. It's 9 justice sources, 10, 11, 12 time sources. My double justice is Fourth Tree Elder, Mask, Throne Warden, Mace, and then I have triple time for Terrazon and Pillar. Do I want to go 8-8 split with the 1 extra Monument? No, I think this is better. I still have 9 justice sources for these double justice cards. Seems good to me. Plus, I don't want to rely necessarily on Monument being a time source. Alright. I don't know if this is the perfect build of this deck, because there's a billion ways to build this deck, because we have so many playables. But this is the build I am settling on. I think we could nitpick and figure it out all day, but we're better off just playing with it and being like, wow, we do need more answers to flyers, or wow, these ornamental daggers are awkward, or meh, I don't like this Determined Stranger at all, and I wish it was a 1/1 flying lifesteal. We'll figure all that out. We'll figure that out as we play it. Like, would I rather this be a 1/1 flying lifesteal with Aegis? Maybe. Maybe. Is 18 enough? That might also be a question. Like, it might not be. It might not be. That's a tough call. I can do some math real quick. Let's do some math real quick. So, the key is hitting 5 on time. The 6s and 7s, they can kind of rot for a bit. So, in a population size of 45, and we have 18 power. And let's see here. We want to curve out onto 5. So, if we're on the play, that means we've had 4 draw steps. So that's 11 cards. On the draw, I don't mind my 5 drops coming maybe a turn late. So, let's just go with 12 card draw. And I definitely want 5 sources. So, with 18, the chance of getting at least 5 is 60%. Whereas it's 58% actually. 19 bumps it to 65%. That's a pretty big difference. Now, that's not taking into account the fact that we have some Inspires as cantrips. And that's a bit harder to work out, that math. Like, I could effectively cut down the population size, I suppose, and, like, pretend that's how that works, even though it doesn't. And that, if I pretend that if I just not count the Inspires and cut down the population size, it's like a 64% chance without bumping it up. But yeah, I don't know if the Determined Stranger is doing enough in this deck. Well, the alternative to a Determined Stranger could just be another power as well. Like, if we're willing to fall behind potentially on board early on, but then we have Towering Terrazons and Throne Wardens to catch us up on 5, that might be the key here. Like, hitting a defensive 3-drop's not as important if Tower Top Patrol's coming down on 4 often. Can this deck flood? Our flood prevention is Pillar of Omar and Fourth Tree Elder. Xenon Guardian. Awakened Student. Seems like it's difficult. Yeah. And then we also have to factor in that we have this Monument. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm going to play it safe and go 19 power. We could get punished for it, but I think we're more likely to get rewarded for it. with two